Frying Motors, authorized dealer of Tata Motors PV, is now open at Lightcorny, Shillong. We are here to offer you India's most safest cars and to ensure you to get the most out of owning a Tata vehicle.
Mount Olive Culinary and Hospitality Management Shillong ka khot admission haki professional courses prepare. Yaka Jingtip ka ba khamnya lecture ka city office 100-fold academy ha malki.
Hadirin berapani ia kakot the Federation of Khasi States, History, Epistemology and Politics, mentaka kanti ubak John Kharshiing ulapani pat ia kakot kabaal kabajar kerteng the Khasi States, a brief historical timeline 1771 to 2017 kabare kakot kabla batai shai halor snem kitarik pat jingjia. Yakni kakot applied by Dr. A. Nongpri but Dr. E. Kharkongor Haga College Conference Hall Jong Shillong College rengkar ke jingadon lang ki armut ki nongtho kata ba John F. Kharshiing but bodhi sankupar rani Dr. S. Sangma ki nong mikmat na ki dorbar ki rat ki khnapuli jong ka Khasi department Dr. A. Nongpri badai head of department Khasi Dr. E. Kharkongor principal Shillong College. Dr. A. Nongpri la itu bakani kakot kala long jing mentoy na kamta jong Khasi khara pat kan ai ya jing tip shusho haloka history jong ki Khasi nakalang unong tho lai thu ba ka kot ka bringkong ka don hadu sans pa sla pat hadin blayo jingmut na ki pai ba bat na ki he ki han ulawanda da ki jingmut ban tho no ya history jong ka Khasi States ulai thu ba blayo mensim na ka kot ka bla tho du ba gilbert chulai pat ka daw ba ula tho yak ni ka kot hagak tin pareng kalong ban ai jing tip bat jing sno thu na kamta ki bamde ki Khasi rang bagi nyo jingtip ya ka ka bagi Khasi hindai ki le bat ki dawa.
At the very outset, I express my overwhelmed with joy. This is nothing. Nothing means it's not a pre-planned program. Indeed, it is just a discussion with John when he offered to release the timeline titled The Khasi States, a brief historical timeline 1771 to 2017. Yes, anything which comes from a positive mind will end up also in a successful way. From our dearest principal, who always encourages us and who inspires us that anything we are doing, it is for the welfare of the society at large and also for our generation. I hope that this book, which will be released today, has insights and meaningful because it is a historical facts. Thank you, John, for choosing Shillong College and also approaching the Khasi department in releasing the book. Now this book which is released today, the Khasi States, historical timeline, 1771 to 2017, covers a period of more than 100 years. It encapsulates the history, the events relating to our Khasi society. This is what is so amazing. Maybe I was more ignorant in all these aspects, concentrating on the subject that I have taken an interest and I taught.
This book has come about. This is the second book, and the first book was released, as the principal had mentioned, was released in 2019. We put it out, and subsequently, I'm extremely grateful. I mean, I got pushed quite a bit by my family, notably my sons, went after me to tell me that, with all this work that you're doing, why don't you put it into a book? a lot of people keep calling me, and a lot of students keep coming, a lot of, from a wide range of section of people, including governments. So district council, government of India, and many people often on would come and look for clarification, would come and look for records, would come and look for historical aspects of the Khasi States. Given that push, and I'm extremely grateful to Professor Rani from TIS Mumbai. He completed his PhD also on the Federation of Khasi States. A very interesting thesis he wrote. And so he spent his time, he spent 2 years of his time sitting with me and doing all this. And he also went after me and said, okay, like, can we put all these documents together? So we did that, and for the benefit of all of you, the first book, Federation of Khasi States, is free online. It's about 500 pages, and so it's a big information book. Subsequently, we were, after the release of that book, we were, a lot of other interested people then started saying, can you concise the book and have, there are very interesting dates in that book. So we thought of a different way of writing a book, and that is by publishing the timeline. So we'll see here, it's probably for the first time that you have a book giving a timeline of 246 years of Khasi history where records have been established, starting from 1771 up to 2017. So this picture, for your information, is the picture of the chiefs gathering at the 4th Dorbari, what we used to call the People's Parliament, at Himanuklau in Maira. So this was the picture there. And this is just narrating facts with documentary evidence. We've had since the publication of the earlier books, we've got really important feedback. Some historical, some empirical, and some theoretical and praiseworthy, some extremely critical. People also been critical about the book, and some downright rejection. There's been some who have also rejected the book. Notwithstanding the same, we firmly believe that we must keep up with our efforts and persist with our writings to document the history of the Khasi community as it persists in time, place, space, and person. We opine that our attempt has not and will not go waste, especially in the light of current challenges that a community faces as regards control over its land, water, mineral resources, forest, indigenous institutions, and the overall will to have a political grip over its own destiny. We hope to further enrich the text as we collect more data in the future. To this end, we seek the contribution of the reader. We look forward to your reading through this timeline, and provide us any feedback so that a second edition can be brought out as soon as more substance is accumulating. We have restricted our documentation only to those events related to the Khasi Himas. But we wish to include more events related to the history of the Khasi community outside of our own framework, because I guess you're aware that there were over 5,000 Garus who assisted and marched with Tirot Singh in their fight with the British. There were 5,000 Garus who marched with the Tirot Singh in the battle with, to fight the British. We sincerely thank Shillong College and Tribal Intellectual Collective India, of whom we are active members, for collaborating with both of us in the second endeavor to document the history and political journey of the Khasi States. Likewise, we generally thank all those who have invested efforts and taken the pain to read our book, earlier book on the Federation of Khasi States, and given us substantive feedback on how to deepen and improve the textual content further. I am also extremely grateful to all the chiefs, the Saints, the 54 Khasi chiefs here in the Khasi Hills, 19 chiefs in Jaintia Hills, and around 1400 Dokmas, who together in their own limitation have been, providing from time to time, from an event to an event. I was narrating to the principal, Madam Principal earlier, that this accumulation of this data and this content is due to so many events that have happened, and in the work that I've advocated has led to my getting access to all kinds of documents, and it took me quite a while. And truly, I cannot but mention one mentor who has been a real mentor to me was late Gilbert Shulai. So, having gone through all his writings and books has led us to bring us this today to try and capture all the events of the Khasi States. It has come out in English primarily because just recently also we have been contacted by some important officials from the government of India. So off and on these officers get transferred and we have a difficulty in understanding what is this Khasi Hima, what is this snem, who is this Doloi, what is Rai, what is community land. All these things are so complex for someone who is not from the same community. So writing in English was important so that it helps them to understand. The policy makers, be it at the center, at the state, given that all the challenges that we are debating right now, I think this book will in a way contribute to help them to figure out where we are.